Shalom, Kol Halal, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do rule and teach well in this truth. And shalom to the brothers out there pushing this truth in sincerity and in truth. I just want to touch on this quick parable that Yahweh Shai was breaking down to the disciples in Matthew, the book of Matthew. And it's speaking of this work, this ministry. So where you're going to have some come in early in this work and this truth, like the elders and the apostles. Those men have been doing it 30 plus years on down. And then you're going to have some that come in at the last trump, where they get to they might have been scoffers in the past, or they might have just been on the common boards for a few years, but then whatever the Most High has that wakes them up, they're doing the work. But this is Matthew 20:1. It says, "For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard. And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyards." So, like it states, before they started the work, everybody agreed upon the wage. For one day's work, you get 1 penny. And that's what it was. As long as you work within the day and you do the work which you have been assigned, you shall be paid the penny for the day. And the same is for the kingdom. When you're found doing the work through the Spirit and sincerity and truth, doing the Father's work, which is pushing His truth, pushing His word on the highways and byways, pushing His word through these epistles, through these videos, then you're going to be rewarded the same as a person that came in the earlier day. Even if you come in at the last minute, if you work within that day and you're found doing the work, you are going to get paid for that day. That is what this is breaking down to. But continuing on, this is verse 3. "And he went out about the 3rd hour and saw others standing idle in the marketplace." So this was about 3 hours after the first worker started. "And said unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right I will give you. And they went their way. Again he went about the 6th and 9th hour, and did likewise." So it's getting later and later through the day, but he's still looking for servants. He's still looking for workers to do the work. He said the day is still young. There's work to be done, just like in this truth. There's prophecies to be fulfilled. There's work to be done. The kingdom is not here yet. We have not been paid. We have not received payment. The day is not over. So if the day is not over, the work isn't over. But continuing, this is verse 6. It says, "And about the 11th hour he went out, and found others standing idle, and saith unto them, Why stand ye here all the day idle? They say unto him, Because no man hath hired us." So it wasn't the fact that they were just turning down every offer. These men kept constantly coming up and saying, "Work for me." "Oh no, I don't want to do it," making up an excuse. It's because no person hired them. They weren't called yet. But listen to this. It says, "He saith unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, that shall ye receive." So he hired them on the spot. He said, if that's all you need, I'll hire you right now. So when even was come, the Lord of the vineyard saith unto his steward, Call the laborers, and give them their hire, beginning from the last unto the first. And when they came, they were hired about the 11th hour. They received every man a penny. So at the end of the day, everybody that was found doing the work received the same amount. A penny a day is what he said he would pay. So if you worked within that day, then you received the penny for that day, no matter if you started at the beginning or at the end. As long as you are working within that day, you get your pay. Your right pay. And when they had received it, they murmured against the good man. Salakia. Skip down a few verses. Back in Matthew 20, verse 8, it says, "So when even was come, the Lord of the vineyard saith unto his steward, Call the laborers and give them their hire, beginning from the last unto the first. And when they came that were hired about the 11th hour, so the ones that were hired last, they received every man a penny." So they received what the master told them. If you work for me in my vineyard, I shall pay you a penny a day. And that was the agreement, a penny a day. Not a penny per hour, not a penny per minute. It was a penny for the day. But when the first came, the ones that were beginning in the beginning of the day, they supposed that they should have received more. And they likewise received every man a penny. And when they had received it, they murmured against the good man of the house. So they were in their minds, they think that because they did more work within the day, that they should receive more pay. But they agreed upon the same agreement that was offered to the man that worked or that started working the 11th hour. If you work within my vineyard, I will pay you a penny per day. He didn't tell you when you had to start. He said, if you work in my vineyard. That was the agreement. So that you have no room to feel entitled because you've been in this truth for a certain amount of years that you should feel like you are you're set above a brother. And then when I say that, I don't mean disrespect the order. I mean like you're the favorite to the Most High, because you've been in this truth 20 years, and another brother's just coming in. But we don't know. We don't know. We all, whether you've been pushing this from the beginning like the elders and apostles, or whether you come in at the last second, like the malefactor on the right of Yahushua when they're being crucified. We're all hoping to receive the same reward, which is to be of the elect. And there's not one elect greater than the other, beside King David, who's going to lead us. But we're all bringing in righteousness. We're all on one accord. We're not saying that, I sit higher than this brother, so my word is stronger than your word, because we're pushing the same word. It's the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. But that's how you know when people complain about those that are younger getting revelation, or those that are younger being put in certain positions through the Spirit, it's because they're not being sincere. Whether you start work in the morning or you start work at night, if you were offered to be paid a penny for the day, that day is the same day, from morning to night, and until you reach sun up again. And it's the same with this truth. And until the kingdom come, we're still in the same day. We're in the last day. Yes, there's work to be done, but not all the men are going to wake up at one time. Not everybody woke up the same year that Elder Apostle Tahar and Elder Apostle Gabar and Elder Apostle Ramlab and Elder Apostle Makal woke up. I wasn't even born yet. I'm only 25. I've been in this truth for a little over 2 years. So it goes to show you, they had to start early in the morning to do the work. But yeah, it didn't mean that there weren't going to be more people coming in later throughout the day. Yes, they still have to continue their work. But just like they're doing their part, those that come in later in the day have to do their part. It doesn't excuse anybody. Just because you come in the ninth hour doesn't mean that you get to slack off, or you get to let those that have been working since the first hour pull weight for you. You have to do your part, and that's what's understood in this truth. That we're all doing the same work, hoping to receive the same reward, which is the kingdom, which is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which is being of the hopeful elect. But getting back into it, verse 12, it says, or I'll read verse 11 again. It says, and when they had received it, they murmured against the good man of the house, saying, these last have wrought but 1 hour, and thou hast made them equal unto us, which have borne the burden in the heat of the day. So they were mad. They were mad because they had to go through more. They had to endure more than the person that came at the last hour, but they got paid the same. But this is what the master said unto them. It says, but he answered one of them and said, friend, I do thee no wrong. Didst not thou agree with me for a penny? So he said, you made the agreement. I didn't go back on my word. This is what and it wasn't a one-party agreement. This is what you and I, is what the master is saying to the servant. This is what you and I agreed upon, isn't it? Take that thine is, and go thy way. I will give unto this last, even as unto thee. So he said, take your penny and go from me. I'm going to continue paying what I agreed upon. I'm not going to change because you feel like you were wrong for agreeing to something. If you felt like you were wrong, you wouldn't have agreed to the terms. So he said, take your penny, go about your way, and I'm going to continue paying those who are doing the work. Here it is, verse 15. Is it not lawful for me to do what I will with mine own? Is thine eye evil because I am good? So the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, will raise up a brother when he wants to raise him up. He'll set him in a position that he wants to set him in the time that he wants to set him in that position. It's his will, and his will be done. And he doesn't care how you feel. And we've seen it. The biggest example right now would be Yardan, the former head of GMS Atlanta. He had been in this truth for 20 plus years. And where is he now? He's nowhere to be found. And you got the young and up and coming elder out there that's been pushing diligently ever since. But that's all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai that set that up. Those men, when the truth came out, those men have been vexed for months. To the best of my knowledge, they have been vexed for at least a few months. But you didn't see them rising up against that man. You didn't see them going against the order. They were being righteous. They were continuing to do the work. And once the time came, the Most High found out who was being a righteous servant and who was being a wicked servant. And that man wasn't even allowed to work till the end of the day. He was just kicked out the vineyard. So for those of you that have an issue with the Most High's will, you don't have to do the work. You don't have to do His work, because that's what we do as men of the Lord. We do we're about our Father's business. We do His work, His will be done. But in this last step, it says, so the last shall be first, and the first last. For many be called, but few chosen. So the main point that I wanted to bring out in this lesson is focus on the work. We're all going to receive the same reward if we do the work. Not worrying about oh well, this brother's been in the truth 15 years, and I've only been the truth 2. Man, I'm gonna be so low in the kingdom. You don't know. You don't know. Just focus on the work. Focus on the work, and you'll receive the reward, which is the kingdom. We're trying to make it there first. You got to make it before you can get a spot. But with that, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Lukakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone to do rule and teach well in this truth. And shalom to the brothers out there pushing this truth with sincerity and in truth. Shalom.